Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula is confident, he says, that plans to salvage Cape Town's damaged commuter rail network will restore full services by July this year. The city's southern line resumed operations in early January, while the central line, which serves the largest portion of the city's population, has not been fully operational since 2019. Now, CEO of the Development Impact Fund and lifelong train commuter, Lorenzo Davids, is on a mission to get more commuters to use the trains. In fact, he joins us this morning live from Cape Town. Lorenzo, it's great to talk to you. And for those of our viewers who have been following you on social media, it's been great to see the state of some of the trains that you've been taking in the morning.
Good morning, Michelle, and to the viewers. I think it's been a phenomenal improvement on the southern line, at least. I mean, most of Cape Town's train lines are not working, and many people are suffering. But the journeys I've been undertaking since the start of this year has been phenomenal. Clean trains, clean carriages, doors that work, that don't stay open, and security. Very, very visible.
It's going to take quite some time. You'll give us your opinion, Lorenzo, to get commuters who previously depended, and there are millions of them, depended on our metro rail to get us to work at a cost-effective way, to trust the service again.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. I think people do not trust the service anymore. The feedback I get online, especially on Twitter, is that it cannot be relied upon. It's not on time, it's not safe, it's not clean, it breaks down, you're at risk of opportunistic criminal activities. So there's this whole breakdown of trust in the actual transport mechanism. And that is a very hard thing to restore. Stations look great. Still, some stations are not as vandalized as people say they are, but it is a complete demoralizing destruction of trust in metro rail as the passenger rail service system. Yeah. People are not coming back in the numbers that I thought they would.
Yeah, and I mean, we're showing our viewers some disturbing images of people hanging on to the sides of trains. That level of distrust is different for different people, isn't it? For women in particular, using the trains at a particular time, it came with several incidents of sexual assault on the way to work. For people, that level of trust, the reasoning behind it is different, and their experiences are different.
Yeah, I think for everyone, there's a different reason for why they don't pitch up onto the metro rail passenger services anymore. I think it is assault, it is undignified, it is dangerous, it is filthy, it makes them late, it makes them lose salary, income, or wages. It disrupts their business processes. They're late for meetings. They get accused of being, not showing due diligence to the responsibilities they carry outside of that passenger rail service system. So there's this whole cascading and compounding negative effect just by a train not pitching up on time and not having the required security for the individual passenger. And remember, this is the thing about metro rail. It's an individualized experience. It's not some carriage with a group of people going, kumbaya, this is great, I'm late and you're on time, but that's okay, we all share in this together. No. It is an individual experience. It's the individual passenger saying, I just lost the contract because I'm late with a metro rail service. Or a woman saying, I lost a day's wages or an hour's wages because my boss is not going to believe me that I was late and on the train. So this is very, very deeply personal. And PRASA must respect that individual consumer commuter experience, which they currently do not.
I mean, everything you've just said, such an indictment on just the treatment by PRASA, the treatment of the ordinary commuter, the appreciation, as you say, of the wide-ranging effects of this real failure to provide affordable transportation for our people, just how wide those effects do go. So what's it going to take, Lorenzo? Because the Transport Minister himself has been sort of on a charm offensive. He goes and launches the Southern Line. He goes and does his inspections, and there are cameras around. What's it going to take so it's not just a publicity event?
Yeah, I think that you can eat this elephant from two sides. You can eat it from the bottom up or from the top down. The issue is, from the bottom up, it is a system that works for people. So tickets that can be bought, stations that are open, security guards on platforms, security guards on trains, clean transport services, regularized and on-time services. But at the top, the elephant is the board of PRASA must function. Yeah. The current general CEO must function. You know, we need to review what Fani Dinguzweyo said last year, that it's in perpetual crisis. When he left, PRASA's general manager for legal services said, you know, PRASA goes from one crisis to the other. It's perpetual. And so there needs to be organizational stability that is expressed on the ground as a train that arrives on time. And both sides of that elephant at this point is dysfunctional.
I mean, what does that do for a country like ours to have a functioning rail network? I mean, it's something that we should have gotten right so long ago, but has the potential to take us so far into the future, just sorting out our rail network.
This is my point, Michelle. This is the issue. Rail is the cheapest form of transport in this country and in most parts of the world. It is the backbone. I write a piece on it is the architecture. It is the backbone of a functioning and future prosperous democracy. A democracy functions. You go to India, you go to Pakistan, you go to Vietnam, you go to the US and London and Paris and Amsterdam. Rail is the backbone of commuter transport. It builds, it fortifies a democracy's potential to become prosperous. And that's what we are missing here. This is not just a, you know, from Plumstead to Harfield, or from Cape Town to Maitland and Mutual, or from Parkstad to Joburg to Soweto. No, this is an investment in the prosperity and sustainability of our democracy. The rail system plays that role, and that's what we are not getting as leaders in this country. Unless we fortify, invest, and rebuild this structure, we are critically damaging our future prosperity as a country. The minister said last week in another interview, he said that they had the funds, but they couldn't spend it because plans weren't there and it was never on time, but the budgets are there, and again promised the budgets are there. I'm saying to the minister, sir, spend the darn money. You can't say, oh, the buildings are old and we need other stuff first. There are stations in the world that are 150 years old. There are stations that are still functioning, that are old in great parts of the world. You simply have to fortify that infrastructure. Stop watching people breaking it down.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we begin by spending the money, by saying, oh, but we need new stations built. No, sir, you need to fortify the current structure, the current infrastructure, so that people can use it every day. Yeah. Don't wait for somebody to break it down and then say we'll build it up from the ground.
Yeah, and certainly we owe it to our commuters. Lorenzo, let me thank you for your time this morning. He's CEO of the Development Impact Fund. He's also a lifelong train commuter. Lorenzo Davids joining us on this incredibly important story on this Wednesday morning.